Good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of Coach Rivals 2023 Summer Series. Tonight's match, Netflix and Phil, coached by Hernandez Teaches, and Gromp the Yard, coached by Saikaze. Should be a really good game tonight. We've got some old regulars that have been playing Coach Rivals for several seasons now. We've got some new folks in there, but we all know that from weeks past that Coach Rival games are always entertaining. They're always fun. I'm going to do my best to keep up with all the action, but ultimately, I'll be ironclad. But tonight's records so far, we've got Netflix and Phil with a 3-7 record versus Gromp the Yard of 1-9. So we're definitely looking forward to a good match from both of those teams that seem to be pretty evenly matched, at least if you look at the record. The coaches are no slouches themselves. I've personally played with both of them and have been heavily pinged and yelled at, so they know how to direct the team. So looking forward to tonight's match. For those of y'all that have been watching in weeks past, if you would in the chat, go ahead and give your guesses as to what the overall record is going to be tonight. Are we going to see a game 3? Are we going 2-0? Who's got 2? Who's got 1? Just kind of give your previews there. I will be solo tonight, so I probably will say some stuff that's wrong. I'll probably make up some things as well, but hopefully we all just have fun and enjoy another evening of Coach Rivals League of Legends. So we got someone saying Netflix and Chill 2-0 through the bot lane. All right. Any other guesses up there, y'all? We got Netflix and Chill so far with 2-0. Me personally, it doesn't matter to me what the score is. I just want to see a really juicy invade. It's not a Coach Rivals match unless it's a juicy invade. So we should be coming here to draft in just a few moments. And we'll be able to see what plans everybody has had over the past week since they had some time off. Did they strategize? Did they decide, like, hey, we're going to go with some old faithfuls? What are we going to do? Are we going to see some of the same matchups? Are we going to see something different? And see what these teams have put together in this week 7. All right, we got a little bit of some technical difficulties going in the background. We have picks and bans coming up here momentarily, and you should be seeing it in just a few moments. So this is your first week with us. Our season started June 1st, so some of us were still in school, some of us weren't. Playoffs will start here in about 15 days on the 27th with our grand finals on August 10th. So some of our coaches are going to be already coaching their regular season stuff at the same time as that they are going to be competing into the playoffs. So as we look at picks and bans, so far Grump the Yard has gotten rid of some good engage, some Amumu, Maokai, and Alawi. Netflix and Phil have gotten rid of Vex and Viego. So we've got a lot of team and some sneaky Shaco there. I can agree with that Shaco. I don't play Shaco. I've just seen Pink Ward play them, and it doesn't sound like fun at all. But we got a lot of engage and a lot of sustain going on there. Grump the Yard's first pick has been Yorick. So we're looking at top lane is already going to be already picked. And so we're looking for Netflix and Phil's first 2 picks. Went ahead with Trindamere, so they went ahead with that top. And so now, depending on who this next pick is going to be, we already have a top lane and 2 jungles, possibly top and support, also gotten rid of on Gromp the Yard. So I would assume they're probably go after their comfort pick. So the player on Netflix and Phil who kind of just needs the champ they're going to play, probably the next pick to go ahead and just secure that. And we do have the ADC coming in, double ADCs there, with the Sona going to be there to support the Ashe. We're going to be going into one more pick, so potentially we'll go ahead and grab our support over on Netflix and Phil. So I would assume they would need somebody that wants to engage and potentially a little bit of lockdown, so Kaisa can put in a ton of damage and hopefully overcome some of the slows and heals that Sona and Ash with there. And there it is. We have Nautilus with a good engage with his Q hook. And now it's just whether or not Nautilus is going to go after Shock to give a little bit extra damage on Gromp and Squishies, or are they going to go a Glacial Augment to kind of help slow down, be able to get in on that Squishy bot lane. So based off of what chat said, Netflix and Phil 2-0 bot lane carries, we're looking at a Kaisa Nautilus versus an Ash Sona. More bans have come in, so we've got mid lane bans and another jungle ban over on Gromp the Yard. So no quick tower takes with Ziggs, no more with Vigars or Vagars E. And it looks like Lysandra being able to quick engage as well and freeze everybody. We have an Action, so on Netflix and Phil being picked for mid lane. So we have another person that can bring a player back to life. Or they're just going to go with Tristana for a fast, hard engage, which is interesting. So we've got double ADC on Netflix and Phil. We got Annie, looks like going in the mid there. So potentially a plan to, since Annie does not have a good escape, Tristana be able to jump in and put in a ton of damage there as a possibility. We got Ivern as a jungle for Gromp the Yard. Netflix and Phil probably going to pick their jungler here as well. And I know Ivern, I've seen some Ivern play, but I know Ivern is moderately squishy from what I've seen, but also has a lot of utility, can be a little place it everywhere, has a good root, and from Daisy, strangely enough, puts out a ton of damage. So we got the Sejuani there coming in, so some good engage, some rush, just taking a ton of damage. With great ult control. I know Sejuani can really lock down one person and follow it up with another Nautilus hook and just kind of hold one player in place for quite a while. And everybody dumps some damage into that person. So now that we've seen the draft chat, if you guys would, who you guys feel that has the advantage, Gromp the Yard or Netflix and Phil? I don't know much about the players, all the players on both teams, but I know their captains were deliberate in their choices and making sure that they have the best comp with the best players that they can go with. I do like the Ashe and Sona bot lane, just because of the slows and the damage, early damage that can be put out with Sona. But they're really going to have to work on that CS and getting those items quickly. I feel that Nautilus's utility is going to outweigh Sona a little bit, although she does seem to scale really high in the games that I've played. And I think Kaisa is going to be able to put out a little bit more damage than the Ashe will. Top lane is going to be really interesting when it comes to Yorick versus Tryndamere. I really feel Yorick is really going to have to pull out the almost bait out Tryndamere's R. If I'm not mistaken, Yorick is a little bit stronger than Tryndamere early. And then the Ivern and Sejuani. Ivern probably is going to have to full clear until gets to 6, while Sejuani, I think, has the ability to jump in a little bit early with maybe a 2 or 3 camp take before they go into a gank. I think top lane is going to be left alone for a little bit, and a lot of the action, like we've already talked about in chat there, is that the bot lane is going to probably be where all the juicy action is going to be, and really helping Netflix and Phil's bot lane kind of push Gromp the Yards around, but I also think that they balance out up top in the top lane as well, with Yorick being able to bully Tryndamere before that 6 of Tryndamere's comes back up. Mid lane is going to be interesting. It's going to be all about positioning for Annie and how she decides to either live on her stun or hold on to it or use it early. Being able to CS using that Q and getting some lower cooldown on that Q, grabbing CS. And Tristana as well, utilizing her engage and her jump well, and hopefully getting a ton of damage and not doing it at an inopportune time where Iron's able to come in and snag her up if no kill is made. So I think laning phase is going to be really important for both of these teams, making sure they get their CS, make sure they have themselves in positions, and being together as a team for objective control. I don't see early dragons being a big part of this game. I think Dragon is going to sit around for a little bit longer than normal. Although Ivern's ability to go and kind of take some stuff early is could help them a little bit, but I think he'd have to sneak it. I don't think he's strong enough to really go against Sejuani with a little bit of help. But we're looking for a good game. I wouldn't mind seeing 3. Unless my casting in the first 2 are really bad, then let's hope not for a 3. But some really good games. No blowouts. We want back and forth. We want one fight to decide it all. It would be really nice to see some really good gameplay from all of our players and coaches as we go into the final weeks of Coach Rivals summer series and be working for those positions in playoffs and ultimately for the grand finals on August 10th. So we have a few more minutes to go. So far, we've got Netflix and Phil still going all the way. And other than that, I think we should have just about ready to go to get into match. If you're on chat, don't forget to hit that treasure box as it pops up on the bottom and get those points. You can spend them in the chat. I don't know what they'll do, but you can spend them in the chat. And also, definitely use your Prime subs for Coach Rivals. Coach Rivals coaches don't pay anything to be in the competition, but donations are appreciated. It helps Coach Rivals put out micro grants to programs, small and large, to help them get some of the small things that they don't need, they can't fundraise for, or they're just trying to grab. And as you guys know, sometimes schools and programs are difficult to run right now. So they definitely help out with that. So any donations in that sense can be great. What I'm wearing right here is a Coach Rivals themed jersey, and that can be gotten through their shop at esportsgear.com. And you can also set up a free store there with your school, and I think a lot of us on Coach Rivals have done that. Other than that, we are about 1 minute away. So if you're unaware, while we don't stream it, there are a group of coaches that also compete in Rocket League during the week. It's a whole lot of fun and some really good gameplay, and ultimately it just turns into a demo fest depending on how good or how bad you are. That's kind of my role. But looking forward to next matches with that, and hopefully in the future be able to cast and stream some of the Rocket League as that part of our program grows. But ultimately, tonight's match, Gromp the Yard versus Netflix and Phil, you can see the team there. You can make your choices. You can do your call-outs and chat. You can put stuff out on Twitter, Facebook, or Snapchat, or whatever you're on. Let people know that we are live and come in and watch. And as we go into the start of week 6 to see whether or not we are going to have a classic invade, which I think Netflix and Phil has a really good chance for a juicy pick early in the game and get a good CS lead for at least one person. At the very least, in my opinion, it's not a CR match if there's not an invade. So here we go. They are dropping into the Rift as I speak, and we'll be moving over to that momentarily. All right. So if we're looking at this skin game wise, well, the skin We didn't get to see that very long, but that's okay. There we go. So we do have a call out so far of Netflix and Phil with the better draft, but sometimes you just have a popular champions that you want to see win, and so that's what they go with.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
All right, and as we are moving out, it looks like we're going to the good old-fashioned 5-point or 10-point. So they are not taking any chances in this one. With both teams' records of 1-9 and 3-7, they are looking to not do anything wild or crazy, but just to kind of be nice and calm and focus on that early game and laning phase. Some dancing in the river, kind of just looking around. Classic start with the 5-point.
Minions have spawned.
Gromp the Yard's bot lane holding up in the bottom triangle bush. The good thing is they're probably not going to be leashing for Ivern at all because he doesn't need it. So they will be able to get to lane right as the minions get there. Looks like everybody is bot lane side is going to be moving down. Doesn't appear to be any cheeky bush games or anything along that line. They're just looking to have a nice, calm, casual start. As red side's taking their red buff early and moving in. Flash early from Sona, quick engage, exhaust, a couple of summoner spells already burned there. Now they're just pushing back and forth a little bit, and they will be going to CS. Definitely, Gromp the Yard has the poke advantage to Netflix and Phil's in bot lane. But the ability for Nautilus to close on the squishy with Kaisa backing follow-up is really good. Top lane, we're just going to be smacking around some minions, doing top lane things, pretending that we're not here, and hopefully we don't get bothered. We just allowed ourselves to do top lane things. Looks like we're doing... Ivern's going after his full clear, while Sejuani's starting top to bottom, so within the next few... At least within the next minute, potentially a early gank or an on-time gank from Sejuani going into the bot lane. This game so far does not like anything in the mid, so we've got Annie and Tristana in mid lane. Sejuani moving her way into Gromp the Yard's bot side, kind of looking for Ivern. And potentially coming down through Triangle Bush. Unfortunately, blue side is pushed in just a little bit. May not have the angle, but could sneak in behind. They're definitely, it's not worded at the moment, so they're not sure, but they are playing good defense, staying behind there. Sejuani coming in, Nautilus grabbing the ADC with a flash out and the exhaust. So at the very least, Summoner spells were burned, some damage was done, and they're stuck under tower. Taking a breather with a little bit of pucker factor from that engage. 4-man down there in bot lane. Andy pushing some more. Hawkeye coming out, so now they're able to see where that player is either staying or leaving. I'm going to try to make my screen bigger because everything is furry for me right now. So let's see here. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right. Well, while the Netflix and Phil has the mana advantage. They certainly don't have health advantage right now. Sona doing her thing to keep the Ashe alive, but also has low mana as well. Roaming up to the top briefly to see nothing, as absolutely nothing is happening up there. They're just killing minions, getting their CS leads, and enjoying their best life. Ivern snuck over into Netflix and Phil for a little bit, but is coming back into the river, looking at the Tristana while she backs with the minions pushed underneath Amy's tower. Some definite minions being lost there. Great vision dropped from both teams on both sides of the map, being able to kind of track the jugglers a little bit. Sejuani being a little bit cheeky down there, we're getting pushed off and having to back. Can't spend too much time down there to start losing their timing and stuff. And so Mid lane and jungle did come down trying to find Sejuani. Good collapse, but nothing happened there. Still, even up top, Yorick at half mana does have the health
An eternal ring.
advantage there, but at this point, being kind of bullied just a little bit by Tryndamere. Andy has Tristana pushed underneath the tower. Blue side with Ash backing right now as Netflix fulfills. Kaisa and Nautilus are coming back into lane. Unfortunately, could not push the minions underneath the tower at bot lane. So Kaisa's there to pick up a real juicy, full, it looks like a double-sized minion wave. As I guessed early on, the first dragon, Mountain Dragon's just kind of sitting there chilling. Sejuani may head that way a little bit. We've got Tryndamere pushing wave underneath, so York's gonna have to clear out some stuff there. And as he backs, so that's a really good back with him. Shouldn't lose a lot of CS with that. Sona looks like she's clearing up some vision or adding some vision. Kind of keep a good eye on the dragon. Sejuani deciding to step back and just continue to push. Not push, but to just clear jungle before coming in. A little bit of push from bot lane there, but they're just taking advantage of their range ability against Netflix and Phil, so they're just going to try to stay safe. Yorick pushing in, using the cage, a flash out by Tryndamere. Engage quickly with Nautilus, putting damage quickly on the Sona. Unfortunately, there are two others there, and First Blood does go to the Ivern. That was a great engage, with just poor timing with having 4 people down there bot lane. So are they going to go after the dragon? Ivern looks like he's, they're going to clear out some vision, but they're going to go get the Tristana, who doesn't know that they are coming. Timber's at half life, so that's going to really help out there. Kaisa's will keep playing safe down in bot lane. And looks like they are pushing Tristana up and away. Tristana gets out nice and safe. Tryndamere still pushing top lane. York coming back in. And so we're going to sit Annie, correction, we're going to sit Timbers onto Tristana, do a little bit of free damage there. And Sejuani moving over into the top jungle, potentially help out York as they're stuck underneath tower. And we may have a 2v1 here, depending if Sejuani goes in. Bot lane still pushing, nice back and forth. Looked like a Hawkeye just coming through top lane, so no vision there. But there is a top jungle fight right now. Engaged in the bot lane as well. Kaisa putting out a ton of damage, but there's a flash from Sona. So we are all fighting in the top lane. Continuing to follow. One more hit on Sona. There it is. Nala still following. Kaisa, unfortunately, does not have the health to continue with that. So far, Sona is down on Gromp the Yard. Tristana uses her jump to get out of there. Smart move on both their parts, even though they both pretty strong champs, with Daisy unfortunately being full health and Iron full health. So it looked like they are on the hunt now for Tryndamere, trying to push them out of the way. They're still looking for him. Ash arrow is missed. We do have a flash. I'll try to hit the flash with the root with Ivern. Just missed. And Tryndamere is safe under tower, but they're going to push pretty hard up there, and it's really difficult for Tryndamere to continue to CS until hopefully he doesn't get stuck. And then he looks like he got stuck inside of Yorick's, whichever circle is, and Tryndamere does go down. So they're going to push that top lane and get a plate, possibly 2 plates right now. So Yorick rewarded with playing safe, playing smart. They are chasing after the Sona. Unfortunately, Sona getting stuck in between everyone, chilling and trying to add some vision in the river and clearing out vision in the dragon, trying to get that set up, and unfortunately paid for it as a squishy roaming support. So Kaisa's still sticking down there while they take dragon, which is a very smart play. As ADC, I tend to go up there and help out, but it doesn't really give me a lot of XP and miss out on all the gold CSing. So Kaisa definitely a much smarter player than me. And Timbers was sent in, a good opportunity to steal there. Unfortunately, just didn't output enough damage. So it looks like everybody's headed back to their respective lanes. Anthony's going to back, do a little buying. And then Kaisa and Nautilus are coming back in lane to see what we're going to be doing here. Right now, gold is only about 500 difference between the two. There's one dragon advantage, and we are at 10 minutes. We are 2 kills apiece. So nice call, really focusing on the laning phase, making sure we get our CS, making sure that we're in the right position. And Netflix and Phil doing a really good job at being in their minions, but unfortunately with that gank from Ivern, they are able to come in and get a quick double kill in the bot lane and try to reset it. And so we have another battle up top. There's a smart play by York, just putting his circle of death, I don't know what it's called, but putting that around Tryndamere and walking off. And so it looks like bottom is going to get a plate or two while we're waiting on both champs to come back down. So real quick, so in just that one fight on bot lane, has changed to a 1k difference and a 2 kill difference. But it's still early with only 11 minutes in, so we've still got plenty of time. Alright, well the director's camera does not like mid lane at all. We don't have a lot of Tristana anti-action there, so it looks probably why the two of them are constantly moving around, because I know that the game is not going to show their gameplay at all. But I really feel that both junglers on both sides have done a great job at moving around, chasing York down top lane, taking as much damage as he could. Unfortunately was not able to get him. Looks like Annie being able to take down Tristana, and unfortunately Netflix and Phil's top collapse on York did not work. Tryndamere dropping, and then Sejuani just having to back out and just continue to farm. So we're looking for something cheeky, some bush wookies down here. Maybe there's vision, maybe there's not. They checked the bush, they're going to engage anyways, they're squishy. Knowledge is going to throw the hook, grab Ashe. Kaisa's going to come in, full send, miss an ability, but still go after Ashe. And Ashe gets out with about 25% life, and then just added right back to 50% because Sona does a great job at Loki Doki. In spite 2 deaths early on, has been able to keep Ashe alive and pumping out damage. And that's a great job by the support. So they're going to stick there. Hawkeye coming out again. Unfortunately, we're seeing just missed. We have another gank by Ivern and pumping out damage. Nothing much they could do. Nautilus falling again. And Kaisa backing up. Right now, vision-wise, Netflix and Phil, or correction, Gromp the Yard is really controlling the vision on the bot side, and that is really helping out Ivern with some really good ganks, and that being able to take advantage of those. Tristana coming in, using her jump, putting in damage, evening out the life, the health there, but Annie being able to get away, so she just took away some vision for the next time. Tryndamere doing some stealing of the top lanes, correction, the top jungle. A whole lot of festivities going on potentially down here in the bot lane. Annie's jumping out. We've got Kaisa and Nautilus doing things. I see circles. They did finally catch the Ashe and dropped her. They're going to be backing down, going back towards the lane, hopefully trying to connect to find the Sona. But Sona is going to stay underneath tower and try to be play as safe as possible, dropping some vision so they can see Ivern coming in. Ivern versus Sejuani. Ivern hiding in the bush. Sejuani pumping out some damage without even, but Sona's going to come in, and 2v1 is going to be really difficult for Sejuani to continue. But here comes Kaisa to kind of even it out. Sejuani going to try to get out with 10% life, or 5, who knows. Here comes the Ashe. Oh, with the first, almost going to kill on Really good job. Daisy is out. Nautilus is coming in, but decides to turn back around. Now at 50% health. Daisy's coming in, doing some damage. A little bit of shield there. And it's going to continue to run, using his E to kind of slow everybody down. Was able to get out with a flash on there and a root, and unfortunately be able to fall to Ivern. So Kaiser's by herself, going to get collapsed on here. She saw that, but she's making a run for it right now. So as long as she can, she's going to try to get a quick kill there. But unfortunately, Daisy's in the way with. Ended up getting her a great job. Not sure how that happened, but we'll just say Kaiser doing Kaiser things and Ivern burning like a tree. So. Tryndamere doing a great job of keeping top lane pushed underneath tower. Tristana jumping in real quick, trying to get a quick kill. Great stopwatch. Coming in there, almost just not quite enough damage at level 10 with only boots right now and Noon Quiver with cloak. Almost a little bit, but great purchase in the stopwatch for Annie, knowing good and well that Tristana can come in and dump a ton of damage on her. So great, smart play on that. All right, we got some of this following up on with Ivern. They're looking again to put some drama down there in bot lane with a, I forget which dragon that is, a Cloud Dragon. So just a couple of trading some damage in there in bot lane. We do have a 3v2 down there. Nala's getting stuck out. Daisy knocking everybody up, just pumping in tons of damage. Here come another two players. Unfortunately, their tanks and their damage dealers will not meet up at the same time. Nala's does fall on the blue side, being able to push and bully red side out of the way and hopefully secure this dragon. Sona's going to stick out with some vision. And we're just going to hide in the bush and take this dragon without anyone else coming in and try to do that. So one dragon apiece. It is 9 kills to 4 for Gromp the Yard. Gromp the Yard has almost a 2,000 gold. I'll come up with the right word in a second. I'm just going to keep moving on. Yeah, gold, about a 2,000 gold lead. Currently, Gromp the Yard has 2 towers. That have been dropped, and Netflix and Phil has not gotten one yet, but they have secured 1 dragon and 1 Rift Herald. So now it's going to be hanging around up top. The correction, mid lane with Tristana. Let Kai'Sa get some of that solo, kind of match up with Sona being in mid lane as well. Not quickly, but slowly but surely turning into kind of an ARAM. Kai'Sa doing her work, staying behind her minions to ensure that the Ashes W does not hit Tryndamere with the quick clear up top, and hopefully gets pushed back underneath blue tower, get some map pressure that they need. Mid lane, even with everyone mid lane, this director's camera does not like mid lane whatsoever. So we have a little fight going over the Rift Herald. So Tryndamere was pushed off. The blue side's going to come in, put the squeeze. The red side's coming in, put the squeeze on them. Still going to fight over the Rift Herald and try to zone people out. Sejuani going in, knocking up Yorick. Ash Arrow missing. Still following. A mixed flash. Wrong angle. Got stuck to the back of blue pit. They're going in. It looks like they're going to double kill in the top laner, which should help them do some push with some gold. Shelly does not like Gromp the Yard. She chased all the way after him. Reset there. They're not going to re-engage. They're going to continue to push off. Nautilus making is out there. Unfortunately, by himself. No one followed up. Had to flash out. Will not be able to get back out. Just too much damage coming out of the Ashe right there. Ashe was then taken down with Tristana putting the damage into Sejuani, holding up everything. Tristana jumping in, getting that engage. And the flash by Loki Doki to safe under tower. Loki Doki has definitely been putting in some work when it comes to keeping her team alive and healthy during these fights. Unfortunately, Netflix and Phil are just putting out a little bit more damage than she can control. Looks like Sejuani after that battle is going to be able to take Shelly and try to get some more map pressure, probably mid lane, potentially top, depending on when that tower falls. Mid tower is gone, so definitely I would assume that this next Rich Earl's going to go towards the mid lane to try to get that pressure on that first inhib. So with no objectives up right now, everyone looks to just be willing to back up a little bit. Kaisa throwing in some cheeky posts there. And they're just going to CS a little bit until the next neutral objective is there. Tryndamere is definitely going to have to answer the York. We've got that tug of war up there. Annie has moved down to the bot lane to try to get some push. Her push isn't that strong, but being able to use that burn will actually help her a whole lot, far more than the students. So we've got lane has gone to mid. We're looking at the pseudo ARAM here. Tristana, mid lane has moved to bot lane, and top lane is just doing top lane things. We've got Ivern and Sejuani continuing to clear their jungle camps and waiting to get themselves in the best position to engage and hopefully pick up some picks before these next objectives come up. So right now we're looking at 10 to 8 with 20 minutes in, almost a 3K difference for Gromp the Yard. They are down one tower in kills, and Andy was left on. I missed that one, I'm sorry. Tryndamere is going to have to, did not have the, so they took Tryndamere down. Nautilus doing his job to just soak up as much damage as he can. Unfortunately, was not able to get out, so just was run down with damage dealers. Tristana doing her thing from the back line, just pushing as hard as she can. Great ult by Tristana to get rid of that damage, so she wouldn't get tucked in. We got 2 ADCs versus 3 a jungle on top of an ADC, and unfortunately Ashe's range is just really won that fight. The amount of damage that she put in, you gotta be careful. She almost got killed, gave a free kill to somebody. So mid tower for Netflix and Phil is going to fall. Baron is up, Dragon's going to be up here momentarily. I think that's 1 minute because stopwatch hourglass is yellow, but I don't know. It'll be up shortly. Some free gold in the river with getting the skull crabs, and Netflix and Phil resetting themselves unintentionally, but they're coming back out. Start pushing some waves. We're going to get some deep vision and clear out some vision by Gromp the Yard right before the dragon that is now up. And so they're going to go ahead and start that dragon with their entire team there. Netflix and Phil can only hope to potentially create a steal, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to be able to. You just can't see because of the grass wall. And the blue team does secure it. Nautilus with a really close one. Jafari going down in that fight. Nautilus falling as well. Kaisa just trying to do what she can, but right now the damage output for Gromp the Yard is more than Netflix and Phil has been able to handle. Yeah, they're engaging right. They're hitting the right targets. I just think that the Gromp the Yard's damage output is so much stronger. So York coming in to try to save this last tower before Tryndamere gets in there, but unfortunately not be able to do that. But they traded life for tower. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good trade because Netflix and Phil definitely needed some more map pressure by taking that second tier tower. Gets them one step closer to the inhibitor. Alright, so Gromp the Yard is looking to the second level top tower on bot side. They've kind of overtaken Netflix and Phil's bot side jungle. Right now, Vision's going to be key trying to clear out some Vision. So we can see them doing that right now. So we have our bot lane is in mid lane just pushing the waves out. They're looking to try to increase some map pressure. We're at a 3K, 1 dragon, and 1 tower advantage over to Gromp the Yard. Right now, from what I can tell, when it comes to neutral objectives, Gromp the Yard has been where they need to be, just a little bit better than Netflix and Phil. But both teams are still very much in it. It's not a runaway yet. I know it says 20 kills to 11 kills. While that is part of the gold lead, it doesn't necessarily mean that Gromp the Yard has a huge advantage just yet over Netflix and Phil. Right now, with no objectives up other than the Baron, Netflix and Phil looks like they're just content with doing a little bit of pushing on the bot side with Tryndamere and trying to get some pressure away from their top. It looks like, and CSing there in the middle, trying to protect some towers. It does look like there's going to be a little bit of jungle fight in the top. I don't like fighting in the jungle. I always get caught out. But that's okay. So Jawadi did get caught by Timbers, but Timbers was taken down pretty quickly. They decided to back out with that, so everything's kind of calmed down. Looks like they're just positioning right now, trying to get a little pick. If one team can grab somebody from the other side, jungle or not, they do have a better advantage at taking that Baron. Netflix, either team can do a lot with the Baron pick. Engaged by Sejuani, putting a lot of damage. That shield popped up real quick. They're able to take out Annie. They're going to run down some players. A couple of flashes. Trishana jumping in, going after the damage. Sejuani taking down Ash, jumping in again, getting that reset. There goes Loki Doki. Tristana got rooted. Sejuani's still going to follow and kind of push, and that's the exact pick that they needed. So now Netflix and Phil are going to go up to the Baron and hopefully be able to grab that real quick, be able to burn it down as quickly as possible. They're doing it about average, but they're definitely going to get it done before the other team can come and do any damage. Now Ivern is sneaking back there, potentially jumping in, do a quick steal. They are keeping him away, they're pushing him, but he's going to try to stay there as long as possible. Great ult by Tristana, pushing Ivern away. Ivern did what he could do to try to get that back. With a root there, trying to get away. Daisy coming in, potentially got in the kill on Tristana, and Daisy potentially going to take out Tryndamere, but maybe probably not. Great job at Netflix and Phil. Excellent try by Gromp the Yard's Ivern. So now with no objectives up, Dragon popping up here in probably 2 minutes. They need to back, they need to buy, and they need just to get some wave push, get this Baron buff usage to its best ability. Potentially a pick here or there, but ultimately this is going to be the 4th dragon and at best the 2nd or 3 dragon for each team, so no soul just yet. But Gromp the Yard would definitely like to have another dragon to help not only with the goal with some XP, but with a little bit of extra strength to help them move around a little bit quicker. I think that's right. No, which dragon was that? Water dragon? Cloud dragon? That dragon's going to help them regardless of which one it is, so it'd be nice for them to have it. That's the Ocean Dragon, so it gives them a little bit it gives them some heals, which is really good for Ivern and Sona, and the bonuses they get with shields and heals help folks stay in the line. So we do have Red side going after the dragon, or it could be a quick pick, and Red team has taken the dragon. Great job, Sejuani with a great smite. Ivern did try again to try to steal, but unfortunately jumped in just after the smite, it looked like, and it was dropped. But yeah, again, another great try. Netflix and Phil pushing bot lane right now, grabbing the tower. Tryndamere just doing split pushing things, using the ult, having to get out, but not much to do there.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Tristana is going to be met with 3 players on the front, but did her job by grabbing another tower and adding more pressure. Still no inhibs open, however, Gromp the Yard does have the ability to get the first inhib based on minions, but both teams have a inhib open. Right now, Nahus is going up there to try to do his best to kind of clear, but Nahus's clear isn't that great. But he can slow them down. So he's doing his job to push out right now. So still, Red side still has Baron, I think. I don't think it very often. That's why I'm still in Iron. But it looks like their Baron buff is gone. So now it's back to good old-fashioned League. No objectives up right now. Looks like Ash is going to try to grab that second red left by her jungle. And so they're just going to push, clear some vision, and they are talking a whole lot right now about what they're going to be doing next. The next Baron, I'm not sure when that Baron is up. There it is. 2.5 minutes to Baron. So they have a little bit of time, but everybody's going to be there at Baron, I feel. And that Baron push, whether it's if it's a team wipe, there's a good chance that the game could be just ended off of that team wipe. If not, then at least get some inhibs. So we do have an engage caught out. It was 2v1. Now it's a 3v2. Nautilus with the hook on the Stona caught out. Sejuani coming in to follow up, and Kai'Sa with some damage, but Nautilus and a true support stealing the kill because we deserve it. Alright, so red side is pushing in towards the middle. They're going to be clearing that wave. Not much they can do there. So they're going to move into bot jungle. And hopefully everyone's kind of lose vision. Tryndamere is going to help push bot wave, try to get back strong. Netflix and Phil's going back towards the mid lane to back up behind Tristana. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left till the Baron, which it definitely feels like both teams are looking to kind of posture for that a little bit. Hawkeye coming through, trying to find everybody. She sees everyone, so they're not too worried about where they are. Netflix and Phil setting up in their top jungle, going to grab a red buff, get as much damage as possible. Potentially back timers are good right now. They definitely want to push mid lane out a little bit more. Top lane is in a is right in mid spot for both teams. Tryndamere backing for bot lane to come in. Have a little bit of an ARAM, hopefully grab a pick or at least put a ton of damage down so that they have to back and potentially have a player late to the Baron, to a Baron fight. But as of right now, Kai'Sa doing a great timing for her back. She'll get there, be able to purchase, and it'll take her about 25 seconds to get back to the Baron buff. So great job on going back, grabbing mana and health by Kai'Sa. Tristana doing some push up top. They can see that she's up there, a little bit of A-ramming in the bottom. Hernandez teaches, I believe it is Tryndamere, and he's doing Tryndamere split pushing, so they're having to take the York damage and zoning away from them and leave it to 2 tanks and an ADC, excuse me, 2 tanks and 2 ADCs in mid lane versus a jungle ADC support mid laner. York pushing bullying again a little bit on the Tryndamere with the 1 level advantage, but the Tryndamere's ability to clear is pretty exceptional with his spin and just quick hits on his using his passive, I believe. Kai'Sa tossing stuff out there just for like some vision, hopefully hit a little poke and damage, that type of thing. We are bushworking it. We're coming out. We have it engaged real quick, taking down Annie super fast. Great play. That's a pick that they need. They're going to go ahead and take out Daisy, but Daisy pulled all the way back. Tryndamere coming in from a side flank. Not touching Baron, but Dragon is up, so they're going to push. Sejuani is going to go, and she's going to keep everyone busy in the mid lane because they got to save that inhib, so it's going to be a free Dragon for Netflix and Phil. Tristana jumping up out of the way, waiting for their minion wave to come in. Sejuani slowly but surely, about 5,800 points left, or health left on that Dragon. Tryndamere looking to his side push. He's taking some bot lane or bot side jungles. We still have kind of I'm going to keep them busy in the mid lane. And so that's Dragon number 3 right now for Netflix and Phil. So great job on them. Only active thing right now is the Baron. Baron for either team right now could end up in a finish. Both teams still have the same tower and inhibs in their nexus right now. So when it comes to map pressure, they're exactly the same. Gromp the Yard is up 23-18 if it comes to eliminations. Netflix has the Dragon advantage going into Soul on this next Dragon. Both of them have 7 towers, and right now gold-wise, the Netflix and Phil has more gold. I don't want to do math really. I'll say 5,000. Yeah, 5K. We'll go with that. 5K gold right now. Which is definitely has been helping with their damage output, especially running the double ADC mid lane and bot lane. So we're looking at a little bit of gauge. Daisy doing Daisy things, keeping everybody off. Gonna throw in a stomp real quick and earth bend some some ground underneath the other players. Right now, they're just poking each other out, looking for potentially a pick right now, but they're just content to just kind of tether themselves back and forth. No real engage right now. Annie is fully charged. She is going to be looking for a pick as well, get some revenge, and there's revenge on the Tristana. Tristana not able to get out, but she is last minute with 25% health. She's going to stay in the back line and be able to pump out some dot damage. Annie's going to have to turn around and kind of go the other direction. Ash is doing everything she can, hitting the Nautilus, but unfortunately just too much help right there for the Nautilus. So great job by both teams. They attempted to make a pick and throw out some damage, but they just didn't have the damage to do that. But they also, Gromp the Yard did not lose anybody, which they didn't need to lose anyone. So they moved over to help Yorick push Tryndamere. And that's what Hernandez Peach is just going to be doing. He's going to be split pushing and constantly grabbing the attention of Gromp the Yard. They're going to have to respond to him, or they're just going to keep giving up space on the Rift. So as Red Side takes out the Gromp the Yard's jungle, they're creating some positioning and just really getting some solid pushes. Sejuani moving up to double check vision, and they have that pushed in. They could go for Baron right now, but both Hawkeye coming in, so they're able to see what they're doing there, so they maybe pause for a second. And really just they're calculating what their next fight is going to be, what they're going to do, just because they can't afford to, neither team can afford to lose the Baron on this one. Looked like Red Side was going to back, Blue Side's kind of squaring up against them, trying to push out, get rid of some vision. Kaisa throwing some vision, missing an ability, but the vision that she gets from that is extremely helpful. So Red Side pushing, again, they have to, Blue Side, Gromp the Yard having to respond to bot side, Ash going down there to help save the inhib, while they push mid lane out, gave Netflix and Phil a great opportunity to back and still be able to make it to the Baron and had Blue Side done it, but it looks like they're just going to be content with making this quick pick down here on Hernandez Teaches. He uses his ult, he's going to hit folks and put as much damage as he can, but unfortunately York held him inside the cage. So that potentially is the pick that they need. They're going to be looking at pushing their Red Side down into a bot a little bit. It looks like folks are going to be playing for Soul Dragon here. I don't think there's going to be a trade. I think they're actually going to fight for one of the objectives. I don't think anyone's going to be giving up. All right, you have to Soul, we'll take Baron. They're just going to fight for that heavy team fight in the middle, and unfortunately, Knowledge did what he was supposed to do. He took up as much damage as possible, but positioning-wise, Netflix and Phil just kind of split. They, unfortunately, Andy's Landry's was able to take down that extra burn on Tristana, Ash taking out the Sejuani. That's the fight that they needed, and so they are going to go over to Baron. Death timers right now at 40-50 seconds for Sejuani and for Tristana. So this Baron is definitely going to be theirs. They would definitely run straight to the next dragon. Just because Netflix and Phil is not going to be able to respond to that, so they will be able to grab their third dragon, which is also, I believe, Soul Dragon, because it was just 3, I assume. So 10,000 health, Daisy coming out to help do some damage, and Daisy did all the work. I don't know what everyone says, I still get to do all the work. So great fights right there for Gromp the Yard. Unfortunate positioning for Netflix and Phil. So they got both of those. So at this point, they're doing their quick buys and going to push out some lanes. And it looks like they're just going to be content with not only having Soul, but having Baron and just A-ramming it down the middle while Yorick gives some relief on bot side. Gromp the Yard definitely has the advantage right now. They're down on gold, they're up on kills. But that last fight definitely helped them at the very least mentally get back into the game, because they were getting pushed around just a little bit by Netflix and Phil. But they recovered. They had some good comms, I'm pretty sure, and so now they are back at it again. It looks like they're going to go all the way up to the top lane and push those minions in. Nobody knows where they are at the moment, so now they're out. They all realize that red side is going to have to respond, seeing how that their best way in right now is going to be that top inhib. Top laner doing top laner things again, and it does look like that Cage really helped out, helped saving Yorick. We've got damage being output right there. Timbers doing a ton of work right there. Naruto's going in, taking out Timbers are going. Unfortunately, just too much damage coming from Gromp the Yard, and with the death timers as they are, it looks like game one is going to go over to Gromp the Yard at the 40-minute mark. Great games, everybody. Great game. All right, we're going to pull up some damage reports, just kind of see where everything is. We're going to take a short break before the next game, and right, damage report's going to be coming up here in a minute. Well, I'll say that I was disappointed that there was no, classic coach rivals invade. I do feel that both teams played the way they needed to, and they wanted to take their time and just wait for the late game. So a good solid 40-minute game. Everyone played patiently, played smart. Great job there. Looking at the damages right now, you definitely see that we're looking at levels. Gromp the Yard, while they only had one person at full 18, they did have 3 at 17 with their support at 15. And while Netflix and Phil went to almost full build and having their bot lane just a little bit behind, unfortunately, to the other bot lane. And I really just think that came from late game play in the range that Ash had. But I think picking Sona was a great smart play, especially with the dragons that they ended up getting. Was super helpful to them in the sense of heals and all the early ganks. Really contributed to keeping Netflix and Phil's bot side back. Can we view the advanced details and see where the big bars are at? All right, so there you go. We have big blue bars. We have medium red bars. So definitely Grump the Yard had a little bit more damage. You can see the Ash damage really picked up. It'd be interesting to see like the heals that Grump the Yard was able to do. I really feel that really helped him out in a lot of it. I mean, Netflix and Phil was pumping out some damage and put some hurt on him. But the healing wise, that right there, like the Sona and the York, Sona putting in based on heals, ally healing, putting Kaisa and Sejuani heals together definitely doubled, if not tripled, the heals. So like just the heals and then the Cloud Drakes, the Ocean Drake, excuse me, extra heals. Sona probably is the MVP, keeping them together. And then just the overall the shielding that Ivern's able to do. Gromp the Yard just had a little bit more help in the sense of tenacity or just living longer based on those two champions. They really helped them out. But Netflix and Phil did a great job of just dumping damage left and right, and everybody just waiting for that right moment. Not a lot of shenanigans there, but we will take a few minutes break and stick around for game number 2 between Gromp the Yard and Netflix and Phil. Welcome back, everybody, to the Coach Rivals 2023 Summer Series Week 7 between Gromp the Yard and Netflix and Phil. We have an additional caster that's going to be coming in tonight, so hopefully some things will make a lot more sense instead of made up like what I do. But if you would in the chat, just welcome the Eric29 to the stream.
Hey, I am here to cheer on Saikazi, my hero.
So I guess you're going to be pulling for Grump the Yard, or are you just pulling for?
I want a 50-minute banger that ends in a back door. And if Saikazi's team can do it, they can do it. I'll be okay with that.
In the first game, I know you said you watched a little bit on stream. In the first game, they did not do a classic Coach Rivals invade. Instead, they went 5 points. Now that Gromp the Yard has one win, do you think they will jump into potentially doing it or continue to play safe?
I could see Netflix and Phil going for the invade level 1 to throw a dose off.
Makes sense. All right, so right now we do have our picks and bans are going. Currently on Netflix and Phil, they've gotten rid of the Shaco, Viego, and the little depressed girl, Vex. They're keeping the same bans from last time. They did decide to throw out the Yorick. Gromp the Yard was like, I don't want to put up with that again. But they have similar bans from the first game. Ziggs did make it through this time, and he was banned out last go round. Ash for Grump the Yard is back in. They loved that damage output that Ash ended up doing in the range that she had. So we're potentially looking at another Ash Sona, and there it is. It worked the first time. It's going the second time. Netflix and Phil did Nautilus. So unless Ziggs is going mid, what support goes well with Ziggs? What helps Ziggs do Ziggs things?
Probably another mage support, but also I've seen Hernandez Teaches play Ziggs, and I think they swapped lanes when they did it. They had their mid laner play like a kind of tankier champ top, and he took Ziggs mid. I think they did it against Pathfinder's team.
Yeah, so Netflix and Phil's picking a Varus. It looks like they're going to keep that Varus against the Ashe, possibly. I'm an Iron player, so I see Varus everywhere except for jungle, so there's no telling where you go. But with these teams, it looks like Hernandez Teach is probably going to go Alawi up top and work that split push like he did with Tryndamere. Lysandra was banned the last game, and so was Alawi, but both of them made it through the picks this go round. So I really like the engage and the freeze that Lysandra they can do. And if Alawi gets going early, maybe a little bit better for Hernandez Teaches up there in the top lane. They got rid of the Sejuani, so they got rid of that tank and that engage from last game. And we're looking at another ban from Netflix and Phil. They're gonna get rid of the Ivern. Well, no, because they had to deal with the Ivern last go round. They're going to let Tristana go through. Nope, they're going to go with the same ban from the first game of Vigar, the little purple guy. is Orko, as I would call him, because I'm old and I watched TV as a kid. So, they ended up getting rid of that Ivern. So Kha'Zix is a new ban. I don't remember seeing Kha'Zix ban from the last game. So it'll be interesting to see who is going to get this last ban.
Yes. Kind of a surprising Gromp the Yard ban. Because those could play it if you wanted to.
Definitely. Very similar, like when it comes to champs and picks and bans, very similar from the first match. They pretty kept up with things. I like the time they're taking on this last ban to really decide, okay, what do we want to get rid of? Mordekaiser, okay? So there's another option. So they're going to meet Alawi with Mundo. So.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to go for like Kindred or Graves as his last pick for jungle, too.
I'm not super familiar with what the players play on both sides. I did not prep for this one, so I'm free winging it right here. But I always love seeing opposite picks, and they definitely are looking to just brawl it out up top lane. Definitely. I do like the double ADC on Netflix and Phil. They did that in the last game with.
There's the repeat Nautilus from last game.
Yep.
Pretty good with either Varus or Ziggs.
True that they did the Kaisa and Tristana for with Netflix and Phil last time, so they're keeping that double ADC. But I do like these two ADCs a little bit better. I like the fact that if I'm not mistaken, Varus has one of his abilities is a disengage where it like shoves them away, right?
I wouldn't. It doesn't shove them away, but it'll just
that
place and it spreads out to people around whoever gets.
I gotcha. I must be thinking of Vayne. But we got Zyra coming in, so we have double ADC, double bot, and a top lane. So it'll be interesting to see who.
I guess it's Nautilus jungle then.
All right, somebody watched a video. Okay, cool. I didn't know Nautilus jungle was a thing. But then we have Evelyn over here on the Gromp the Yard. I don't know much about Evelyn, but I found it mistaken. She's pretty much wait for 6, and then just disappear and pop up and pop somebody and run away.
Yeah, he'll be able to just after 6, he'll be able to sit in a couple of these lanes and probably get some pretty good ganks off.
Yeah, I know Nautilus and Alawi both have great sustain. They've got some good utility and damage. But that Ziggs, Varus, and Zyra are super squishy, so they're going to be, I feel, good targets for Evelyn once she gets going.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be targeted by Ash Arrows, Eve, Lysandra going in. There's a lot of stuff. But they also have a ton of poke and disengage if they need to.
Yeah, I don't really see too much early game, like early ganks, level 2, level 3 type stuff. I just don't think they have maybe Nautilus level 3 once he gets his W, he's able to, if he goes bot lane, he's able to jump in, sorry, follow up with a root, that type of thing. But I just feel that I don't necessarily know what I would do with that early. Because Nautilus, when I played Nautilus, I just beat up. So I don't know if we do that. But I feel like it's an option if you feel so inclined to be the shot. But I feel like they're going back to the show that worked out well for them. Loki got caught early in the first game, but managed to put some work out. Like, save 5 hours, keep her ADC, and later help the team to do it, and just make a run for it, which is happy to get yourself in good positions.
Yeah, they should have done a ton of bot lane for Netflix and Phil on if Gromp the Yard just going to sustain through it.
So between two, chat down there, who do you have? If you think kind of the one in draft here, Netflix Phil or Gromp the Yard? Don't type chat because we don't have so long. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it.
Hello. Hello, hello. I don't know. Mic check. Yes, here. This is.
All right, so we have our pick bands done. We do have some sound issues that are going on, but Oakmont Esports says it's been fixed. So our back of house production company of Cartera did an amazing job at that quick fix. Um, so we have Grump the Yard winning the first game. Netflix and Phil really has to send in this one in order to get to the third game. Based on Champ Select, Eric, what do you feel that Netflix and Phil needs to do in this next game to kind of bully and push Gromp the Yard into a third game?
Oh, yeah.
Never mind, there will not be a third game. So to go 1-1, what do you think they need to do? Is this a full send, throw out all the stops, caution to the wind, or is this a something where they have to be extremely deliberate and just pick their fights and be patient and let it go long like it did last time for a good final fight?
I think they're fine if it goes late, but their group of 4 is gonna have to be aware of where Eve is whenever they're pushing or sieging.
Yeah,
It's
because
a little,
Eve just goes invisible and then just comes up out of nowhere and just pops someone one of the squishies. Is that what you mean?
yeah. Because like if they're grouped up under a tower and then they just get Ash arrowed and Sona ulted, they could just all die instantly. But if they're able to survive it, they'll be able to turn it back pretty well.
We didn't say who the ADC was going to be, but we do have like a double. Well, we determined that Nautilus was going to be jungle. So, who has the better synergy with Syra, Varus or Ziggs?
Uh, really either one's fine. I would say the more important thing would be the mid matchup
So
for that.
Lissandra's probably going to be mid, and so would you think Ziggs would do better against Lissandra?
He might be a little bit safer against Lissandra than Varus, but I guess Varus could just take cleanse and then he might be fine doing his mid.
Looking at it, the Yard has more champs in blue than Netflix and Phil, so they've got a little more synergy when it comes to their champ color pool.
They do have the color
Um,
coordination.
Yeah, but Netflix and Phil is also a lot of warm colors, so maybe they're just feeling really happy about stuff. Probably not deliberate, but the art teacher in me, that's what I'm looking at. So we've got, cool versus warm colors going on here. But we're looking in chat right there, and we're feeling that Lissandra can freeze and CC power on Gromp the Yard. Netflix and Phil should just keep pressure in all lanes and avoid big team fights. So maybe those small little kickoffs will help Netflix and Phil even out this series. Or go to the fake game 3 that I thought was going to happen. But, I just like playing League, so I'll watch League and play it all the time. All right, so blue side is coming out.
Welcome
Netflix and
to
Phil.
Summoner's Rift.
Based on that lineup or that look, they're definitely going for an invade. Looking to get an early pick. They're going to cut it off to the right. Kind of looked around. Nobody saw. They're still going to look. Eve putting vision in that bottom river. They're going to be looking again, trying to go. They know that they're there. They're playing smart. They're coming around. Ziggs is like, wait up, I got little legs. So he's hurrying up. They're going to bully them out of lane. They're going to see where they are. early pick on one of those two would be really good, but it looks like they just ran a lap, got punished by coach for something, and just did a lap. But we got the invade. It wasn't juicy, but the invade's an invade, so that works out great.
Yeah, they'll at least know where Dose is starting. That's always nice to know.
We got in chat right there. Definitely nice. Her name is Teach is putting out the good luck, have fun, and everybody on YouTube. That's a great thing about our community, even though we're looking for destruction of our opponents. At the end of the day, we're all going to play together some other time, just kind of talk through things and enjoy each other's company. So nice ribbing and politeness and whatnot. So we do have a Ziggs, Lysandra mid, which I believe what you said earlier, probably the better setup between the Varus mid.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be just the Anya Varus, or if it's going to be like more VP Varus. Or even Lethality Varus.
Lethality can help them out a little bit more since the bot lane is a little squish, and both of them kind of scale really well to late game.
It just ended up being a lot more poke if they're sieging with Ziggs to try to just push people off towers and then take them out.
So one thing I did notice that Netflix and Phil did decide to go with a range bot lane this time instead of having a range engage. I think that's going to help them out, be able to keep their distance, focus on CS, got a root there on Loki Doki. She's just going to run a little bit of damage down there in bot lane. Everybody's kind of feeling each other out, focusing on the CS, not going to be doing much. Between his Peaches, loves Alawi, plays Alawi split push really well, so I like to see Alawi doing his lane up there with Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, I don't know how that matchup goes, but I can't imagine it goes great in a straight up 1v1 for Mundo.
So it looks like a bot lane just going to push down. Summoners have been spent, health and heal and flash, but they kind of had to do that. There's a great early push. Ashe is going to stick around at 25% health, but Sona's just going to keep pumping health into her. She's already back up to 50%. At this point, it's just really about mana control.
Yeah, Tom walked up a little farther and got hit by everything. See, Dose is coming down to bot scuttle. He might be able to get a gank off bot if they don't force him.
Potentially, Netflix and Phil's not going to worry about Eve. They're thinking like anything pre-6 is just not going to work. But maybe that's a good way to get that quick 6. Look forward to going after the ADC. Got the heart mark on there. Going in, that's like the ADC for that Phil's going to fall. They're going to try to run down Sprinty, have a flash, put up a little wall there. Really positive ganks there. Great job on not getting a 2-0 real quick this early in the game.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. I don't know if he forgot he had cleanse and not heal, but he kind of cleansed before the Eve charm went off.
I know for me, like I tend to keep my summoner spells the exact same each game, even though I probably should change it based on the matchup. And that possibly could have happened. You're so used to having a certain one, and at a certain time it just becomes routine. But Hernandez Teaches looks like not a health advantage right now, but more than willing to kind of hang out inside the red minions. But he's looking at just being able to get that easy E out there. Great band from the 90s, the group by the 90s, by the way. You should look them up. But getting some good damage, Ludo's having to back up and fight tentacles that pop up everywhere, and just losing out on some CS.
Yeah, the main thing is he's got this freeze set up, and it's not gonna break until Mundo either goes back and TPs or someone comes up here to help.
Yep. Right now, we got Nautilus, Alawi, and Mundo actually not back up. We're just content. Nautilus coming in with a flash Q, looking to grab Psychozi. It looks like Psychozi's going to go down. Great gank by Nautilus. Good job at being patient, then throwing that Q. You're really hitting a very small box on that champion, on Ash, excuse me.
Yeah, it was really good finishing the flash being down earlier on Psychozi. Now they're gonna get this wave in, and he's gonna miss a bunch of CS before he gets back.
Top lane still doing top lane things. Knowledge taking it back and get boots, so that's going to be helpful. Eve already does have 1 kill and full boots. Going Dark Seal at that, they're looking to trying to take advantage of all that damage. Mundo not being able to CS right now. He's currently playing Dodge the Tentacle. Eve is power. Nautilus coming in, trying to fully. I couldn't tell who got that one. Definitely has the damage advantage. Going in with the Q, it looks like Eve. She can get 2. There is nothing there, so she doesn't have flash. Zig's coming in, big damage. Flash almost missing, so the Q's coming in. Lissandra trying to help out. It should still focus, not passive going off on Nautilus. Flash right there, they're able to miss everything. So very lucky for Gromp the Yard right there. It could have ended up with 2 kills.
Yeah, far from that. He did get the Gromp. That's always the most important thing.
So we'll end up with the Gromp on. Oh no, I couldn't tell.
Got the Gromp.
Okay.
And it is Gromp the Yard, so basically a plus.
I mean that's home field advantage.
2 flashes for Gromp, pretty worth.
Yeah. And that would be coming back around on the backside, looking for another pick. Flash was up, great dodge. Unfortunately came in, big hit. Level 6 Eve versus a level 5. No, it's level 5.
Yeah, level 5
Versus that level 5 Zyra. Zyra just being squishy. It's a lot of damage right there.
Yeah, now with being 6, he can basically just walk into any lane from any direction, just walk straight in the lane and sit there and gank whenever he wants.
Yeah, it does. So I know some champs have some on-map models coming in for another gank. Eventually, it'll Eve right behind them, and since she's invisible, that makes it miserable for everybody. Ash dropping down. Eve decided, I can't do that. She's going to people too quick. She's going to stand in the middle there. Probably really good. Got a hook on Lissandra. Nautilus going in, turning his looks towards Eve. Eve, was that an ult from Eve, I believe? Alright. They're looking, they're going to try to drag them down, try to run them down a little bit. Distance, lob shot there from Road Otter. Mundo still playing dodge. The tentacles up top, trying to CS. But unfortunately, still half the CS that Alawi has just based on that tentacle advantage. He's going in, taking out Zyra again potentially. Just missed, took him a try, and unfortunately could not, but went for the kill, and Varus getting the first kill of the game. Correction, 3rd kill.
Yeah, really good turnaround from Kyrie right there. But I'm gonna have to ask Tom about that flash. That was a little questionable. Just flashing for people.
Well, I don't have any room to speak because I tend to flash into walls, so I should probably do a montage on metal for all the flashes into walls, thinking I have enough distance and I've come close enough. But, you know,
yeah, the Eve execute damage already was huge on one of those kills on the Nautilus.
Eve's coming around looking to kind of balance this out. Even though there's a CS difference up top, Mundo is being able to stay in, and there it goes. And there's a little sneaky peek right there. But as I was saying, like Mundo, even though being down in CS, has done a great job at maintaining level. So even though he's given up CS, he's been able to keep the level even between him and Alawi, which I think is going to help him in the long run keep up with the growth that Alawi likes to do.
Yeah, even though he was getting zoned off, he was able to stay in XP range, he didn't die for any of it, so he's not too behind, and now he's gonna get a plate or two. I think just one.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I had to look. I still struggle whenever I play. Is I've got a CS, and I forget about my positioning. But I noticed that a lot of coaching videos out there and just playing with other coach rivals folks, they're like, just stay in CS range. Like, if you can't get the CS, that's fine. You'll get gold eventually. But if you get down in levels, like it's almost game over if you can't keep up in one aspect or another.
Yeah, the worst is whenever you're it's frozen in front of their tower and their jungler just sits in the lane bush and never leave. And then you're down 2 levels.
As a support main, I'm used to being down that many levels, but as I'm learned some of the other roles, I've learned really quick that being down those couple lanes. So,
your jungler hates you and just sits bot. There's just on top.
Alright, looks like that was an ult from Sona, sticking Zyra in one spot and just a quick pinch. Fortunately, they are taking advantage of Zyra's inability to move around. Lack of ability as squish as she is, but Arena's Teaches is doing a great job up there, landing his E's, pulling damage. And that effect flashes the Sandra, stunning and breaking off, and looks like Gromp is still able to. We got another, unfortunately.
Minions coming in clutch with me.
Yeah. And if we look at the build, Ziggs does have Landry, so that burn really helped get that last couple of ticks there. We've got a River Shell coming in, going to bot lane, trying to get some extra pressure there. Top lane getting a lot of love this game. We were doing a lot last match, even though all the shenanigans right now are in bot lane. There's been a first doing the tower, but first tower potentially dropped. Eve is going to go after Varus. Varus putting in a ton of damage, but unfortunately that ult from Eve just wiping him out and backing her up.
Yeah, this is why I banned Eve. The first game fought, he just walks through a ward invisible. Everything's fine, and then they just die.
Just by Elo, Eve doesn't ever show up.
And now he just sits under tower, always. He's invisible. It's fun to play.
A champ like Eve that just simply can walk around, like do control ward, show where she's at, do blue trinkets, Hawkeye, like.
Control ward too, and that's it. The only other way of knowing is you have to put wards on her camps and then see her while she's clearing it, and then kind of guess where she's gonna go from there.
I got you.
So like Netflix and Phil had a regular ward in the river bush, and you just walk straight through it and get them.
Yeah. And it looks like both teams are perfectly content with just fighting in lane. It is 6-7 right now. Gromp the yard with 7. Netflix and Phil has the gold lead, but not by much. About 2,000 gold lead, and 1 show to their side. But Cloud Dragon, nobody wants Cloud Dragon. They're just sitting there, 14 minutes in.
Yeah, we're here for kills. We don't care about dragons.
It's they must have had a G8 at the beginning of the Dragon 3 game, so
We just sit here and play.
Ashe, 2 ults right there. Ashe hitting the arrow, followed up by Sona, then he came in.
You feel perfectly fine, and then
Eve showing the love to everybody right now. Really taking the turret shot to the pawns.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Mundo's back in it.
Oh, nice. 4 on Mundo. I was expecting him to go Heartsteel. I feel like I've only ever seen him go Heartsteel. Not Mundo, but Nagros.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always seen Mundo go full health and just your job is to soak up all the damage and just do Mundo things. So it's interesting to see. I understand Sunfire, but I don't understand the other stuff. that he's
I
building.
guess it just feels like he's not going to get enough stacks off Lowy or building it this late or one of those. But the Magi stacks, he's at 15 already. Zooming. So Daughters does have a big CS lead and a big CS lead Cosmo and a teaching.
Yeah, the big kicker here is Eve is already at 81 with 93 CS and a 350 gold bounty. What is this?
Okay,
Red
he's getting
team's
away with
turret
this.
has been destroyed.
But his ult's gonna run out soon.
Blue team double kill.
Allow that runs out. He can't 1v5 anymore. Oh, huge root from Zyra.
Great tower take, and Netflix and Phil really quick right back in it, getting 2 kills and a tower, being able to really shove bot lane to put some pressure on the map. I don't know where it popped up in our Discord. I don't know where it is, but we do have 2 other games that were, or 2 other teams that were playing this evening, and that I remember correctly, the record was 1-1. So I will continue to hunt that down to figure out who was playing, and be able to give that to you guys here in just a minute. But Netflix and Phil, definitely a great pull there. They had Tower got 2 kills. Then Eve is just going to be running after Zyra, poor thing, and 2 pop, and she was done using the Hextech Proto Belt to be able to get closer.
And Dose just needs 1 more assist for full stacks. It is going to be on hit Varus with Rage Blade and Kraken.
That was working for Bordeaux being a top now with a super fast range, and allowing the bot lane just going to be doing the split push.
Yeah, I bet Allow is just going to split the whole tank game, and the other 4 are just going to stay together.
Well, I just want to note that I appreciate your Southern Twang coming out there.
I got stuck between game and time. And it just
Zig's coming in with a big ult from mid lane, dropping Nautilus. Gromp the yard, going to stick around and beat up Shelly a little bit. Netflix and Phil. While they have the gold lead and the tower lead Gromp the yard, didn't seem to be too worried. They're just going to keep doing their thing. Ashley was putting a lot, her range was putting a lot of damage into that, allowed us to help out. Eve almost in range to get a juicy kill, become 11-1-2.
the backwards volley from Psychosis, throwing him off.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, Netflix and Phil just needs to, they need to get their 4 grouped at some point and try to get their flank sorted pretty huge. Otherwise, she's going to be walking around getting free kills.
Yeah, because right now, looking at the items that the inventory, there's no control words. You can put the kills as it is placed. You can tell from the map which ones are controlled, which ones aren't. But they do have not a ton of they've got tower protection to do it. Fun stuff, but they really try to get that Eve ultimately knowledge. They're going to have to back off real quick, going after ended up grabbing Mundo. Eve bounced it in and out. There's so much damage going back and forth. Zig's coming up behind Eve, finishing her off. Right now, Loki Doki's under tower, looking to protect, but she decides, you know what, I'm going to go this way. Cassandra coming in. Not much they can do against the damage output if they had it there. Great push by Netflix and Phil to get a 2nd level tower and put some pressure on the 4th thing to get a bit of a leader.
Yeah, that was big, and I didn't even see who got the shutdown for killing Eve there.
So yeah, Ziggs had a cheeky key that he threw as she was running through right behind second tier tower in that gap.
Yeah, if they're able to catch Eve with Nautilus and then Barristers, they're like she's not gonna get the move, so she's gonna have to come from the side. She didn't have
I think she just holding his lane and missed it by like a pixel. So Eve going in for a quick pick, but she was dropped pretty fast. She did try, unfortunately, there was not enough players coming her way. Alawi coming in with a huge ult, hitting 3 players, following the Mundo, Sakazi disappearing into the dark, off to the right, there's 2 health, it feels like. So they push, they're finally going to go get the second Dragons of the game at 21 minutes. Right now, Netflix and Phil have good map control, down in kills, but we can tell that any time you've played really, you need to have all the kills to win. Objective control to be a thing, and right now that's what they're doing. They're looking at about 5k gold lead. They've got 4 towers, 1 tower, they're even on the Dragons. And right now, Netflix and Phil just has good command of the game at this moment, a lot of confidence. He's doing her thing, but they're just unfortunately not putting out the same power that he did in the previous game.
he just got Death Cap fighting through after that fight. If he hasn't before, he actually could probably ult Ziggs and walk out, but he didn't have enough damage to ult initially, and he didn't want to just waste it.
Great escape by Road Otters from Eve standing on top of him, using his pack to shove her back and shove him back. A lot of vision by Gromp the Yard in mid, so definitely you're not going to be able to get any flanks off the range. They're looking to flank a little bit, coming around the bottom line, trying to find one of the squishies, really looking for Ziggs or Zyra. She's going to be content just to kind of hang out there, but we're going to watch Nautilus clear the blue, but that's what's important. And here we go back to the lane. Varus doing his thing to clear super, super fast. Eve just chilling, just waiting for a misstep.
Yep, just waiting for any sort of pick. But as long as these 4 stay together and are like cognizant of you being flanking, always there, it should be okay.
Yeah, she was at a great spot, but they did not go up past that first line, and Gromp the Yard was not able to coming in, jumping in, they got a quick hit, 2 quick hits right there, and great job on Gromp the Yard being patient. Good hit on Sona. They don't like Sona. Great hit there. Going after Lissandra, got 2. Karo's going to have to make a run for it. It looks like Ashe is going to defeat her with the range as well. Nautilus just missing and having to flash out. So he's going to stick around. If he can hit either one of those, that's going to be a kill. But they also have range. He's going to be super careful. He knows Eve is there somewhere. He's just throwing blind Qs, it feels like.
I think he's pretty happy he missed that Q. Minion, it's probably not going well.
Yeah, I think Ashe would have gotten it, but Eve standing there. I puckered up a little bit, not gonna lie. I felt that one. Alright. And she's gonna go in, try to get a quick pop, try to get out, but Ziggs held her down. Or Zyra actually probably hit her with a root, she got stuck. Plant power there.
Ult on cooldown. Probably not really worth it. A kill's a kill. We take those.
You know, sometimes even if you're a little behind, just be able to one-shot somebody, it brings joy to your heart, especially if you don't experience it very often. It's kind of fun to watch to see limit tests sometimes.
Varus has his wits end done, but Ashe just finished first. Varus had 3 items. I guess he's gonna go Bork, and then I wonder if he's gonna go either Ma or the QSS item for his last item.
How would QSS help him? Would it be just mainly the old lockdowns?
Yeah, it's just a second cleanse for either Ash Arrow or Sona ult or Lysandra ult or something. But also Mod would help out a lot for the Eve burst.
Well, director's camera really looks Nautilus in the jungle for some reason. So Nautilus is doing a great job clearing his waves, right? Clearing his camp and finding jungle champs. Engage there, probably good thing he didn't hook somebody because he would have been in tower range, and they probably would have melted him with just a little bit. Lowy going to pool McDonald. Edie floats around trying to figure out who she's going to grab. A quick miss there with a total belt throw, but decided to back out after not hitting either one of those. So there's a chance for a solid hit on more squishy, but I think that she feels reset. Got Dragon popping up here, and now
Walking into an entire team.
yep, and that's unfortunate. But that kind of pick that Blue Side was probably needed in order to get Dragon. Dragon sitting at 12,000 health is gonna, that's how it's gonna push wave and try to get that mid tower. While they give up Dragon down pretty quick. But they were not able to push that. They were throwing some damage here and there. Would clear that wave to where Red Side cannot go after anyone. Zyra Plate doing Zyra Plate things, catching Lysandra out of position. And it really looks like for Gromp the Yard, it looks like they're going to engage her. Disengage with her got stuck out. Hooked in. No, it's trying bad. Out. He was unable to pick one as she went back there with active vision of 4v1 was definitely going to not make that. Going in. No, it's grabbing the hook, taking down the tower, and being able to get a kill all at the same time. Great job.
Surprised they're not pushing for more. They should be able to get 2 inhibs or Baron. With Baron's both came up.
It could be that they have just a ton of gold that they're sitting on after a couple of towers and a couple of kills. They want to go back and spend, get themselves ready for a Baron battle. Ash doing Hawkeye, just annoying the folks from keeping them from backing. As Ash should be doing. Good thought, another W. Nope. So really stalling out their back there was really good. Ash's punch gives Gromp the Yard time to push out their bot lane. Lowry's coming back there. It's going to push again. And hopefully they take a fight in mid or at top. That'll give Lowry opportunity to do Lowry things without being bothered by anybody else, especially if that, I guess, hull breaker provides for all that extra damage by herself.
Yeah, she's just gonna split the entire game.
Right now, Netflix and Phil is sitting on almost 1,000 bounties, so could be a big gold swing here. Right now, we're looking at just under 10k gold advantage for Netflix and Phil. They've got tower advantage, they've got dragon advantage. Right now, Netflix and Phil is doing their thing, playing patient. Kills are even, but I feel that as the game gets longer, Gromp the Yard kind of has the advantage. But I do think the win con here is Hernandez teaches just doing allowing things and split pushing and causing somebody to have to meet up with him on a side lane.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to be able to stop a 1v1, and then as long as the 4 of them pushing chill and stay safe, they should be good.
I love that David Rengar is the worst for me. He just pops out of nowhere and one shot straight all the time. Ash, great pick. Cassandra having to ult, and then Donya is trying to get out of there, but too much damage there. They're going to push 2 unfortunate picks right there. He's getting a pick and make a retreat and potentially come back in and try to pick off someone else. Nautilus going in, huge catch with exceptional damage, double ADC, saves and bars.
Alright, they should be low enough here.
Going in, scoop through damage, got that out. Mundo going over to try to save the inhill. Almost right in the face by Eve. And it looks like we're going to get this still going in. And we're still going to engage and fight each other. It's fun game. They're doing everything they can. TDM style, run out, try to hit and try to stop. Nobody's sitting in tower, just waiting, and watching. They're actually doing some fighting. A little gatekeeping going on there by Netflix and Phil. And ultimately the win going to Netflix and Phil. Great games, GG, well played from both sides in the chat. And we get 1-1 on the evening. No surprise, third game tonight. Even though for some reason I thought it was that.
Yeah, it was close for a while there, and then Netflix and Phil just got grouped up, and it was hard to get in and do anything with Eve.
Yeah, definitely. Like Eve started out off pretty good, but when the only person you could really pick off was Alawi, I think that's where, even though she had a ton of kills, it's really where she fell off. But like you said, the 4-1 setup that you guys or that they had really helped them out. Alawi off to the side lanes while the other four just kind of roamed around and protected each other. Nautilus hitting some exceptional Qs and locking one down while they focused damage from Varus and Ziggs really helped them just kind of push as the game continued.
Yeah, the Varus Ziggs Zyra siege is pretty crazy.
All right, you could tell there, Alawi doing a ton of damage, Varus doing a ton of damage, Eve with the, I believe, 14 kills at the end of the game, tons of damage there. Ash Sona a little bit shy from the last game, but they definitely did have I think, going range against them. This one really helped out Varus and Zyra. Or the Netflix and Phil team against Gromp the Yard really helped even it out a little bit. But overall, it gets Netflix and Phil needed a win, and so they picked a comp that, let's face it, was super annoying. It's hard to fight 4 people at one time, and not having really anything to answer for when it comes to allowing split pushing, and the damage that Varus was putting out that just wasn't an answer on, in my opinion, Gromp Yard's side. And so they just weren't able to keep up with the aggression that Netflix and Phil was tossing out there on the Rift.
Yeah, and the Nautilus damage actually pretty high.
Nautilus definitely lasted longer in this game than the other game. I think going. I've never seen Nautilus jungle before. I'm not going to try it because I don't feel like getting reported. But it was. I like the engaged way they used. He was able to scale up solo and get his utility started a little bit faster than he was as a support. So that was a really good choice in that switch there.
Yeah, and he's had some really good flash hooks on Ashe to start fights.
Yeah, the patience that Nautilus showed in the bot lane on ganks, I can't show that. As soon as I feel like I'm in range, I'm going to throw it out there, and it's so easily dodged. But he waited until either you had to flash or you were getting hooked, one of the two, and that was really good timing in that case. Both teams did a great job. Both went 1-1, so they are now. Gromp the Yard is now at 2-10. Netflix and Phil is now at 4-8 on the season. We'll get out some stats and stuff for next week and kind of see where the settings are. We got a lot of sponsors out there. I don't have them all memorized. I don't have anything in front of me, but I know we've got We Think out there that helps out. Group helps with stuff for us as well. If you feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button to Coach Rivals, and that helps give out micro grants with also our other supporters to schools esport programs around the country as they are growing or starting with some of just the small things that they need to feel successful and supportive of their students. So thanks for chiming in and putting up with me in both games. Thank you to the Eric29 for coming in the second game and tossing out his knowledge. We appreciate you guys. Much love and have a great rest of your night and the rest of your week.